Book of Matthew, chapter verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times.
It ain't nowhere that I can't go. You see me, you see him, I'm like children in the flame though. It's because I follow him though. He the light to my feet, it's like flames what I follow. But let me stop for you heathos. I've been crossed many times, so yes I know the pain, yo. And forgive is where I ain't go. Told the brother get in line, giving shots like a needle. I've been sinning for real, murder, but I ain't killed for real. Shot for shot to seal the deal. Now I'm here, just swallow the pill. Now I'm woozy, don't know how to act. Devilish mind on fully attack. My spirits and flesh had taken it back, and I ain't thinking about bringing it back. Tap, tap, I think I ain't hear it right. The Lord come like a thief at night, but I ain't believe the hype. Yeah, like Saul when I seen the night, but had me feeling like Paul when I found the light. Cap, 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 cap. You say you love your people, but that's cap, cap, cap. You swear you don't be lying, but that's cap, cap, cap. You say you did atonement, but that's cap, cap, cap. I say cap, 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 cap. You say you love your nation, but that's cap, cap, cap. You swear you done with envy, but that's cap, cap, cap. You say you did atonement, but that's cap, cap, cap. I say.
So Peter said, if a brother sin against me, he offends, he does something unlawful. Could have took your money, could have tail barreled again, any of those types. How many times should I forgive? 7 times? Because 7 was a complete number. What did the matter?
Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
All right, shalom, y'all. Most High in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath. I'm Brother Jacob, and to my left,
Brother Roy.
and it's been a while since we have been on. To be honest, we've been going through a lot of stuff, so we just been building among ourselves. We haven't done anything publicly. We haven't gone out. We haven't taught any classes, but we're back. All praises to the Most High. And so today's topic is the law of the Lord is perfect. As a people, as repentant Israelites, we always go out and we teach. We find our people and we tell them, look, we have to return and keep the commandments of God, and we got to believe on Christ. But very rarely do you see us really go over laws. Like, we'll go do stories or we'll read stuff that's happening in the New Testament, and we may go back into the Old Testament and show that it relates to a commandment that was given. But rarely do we go through commandments. So we're going to dig into basic commandments on how we're supposed to live. There's a whole lot of confusion all throughout Christianity and being an Israelite. And it's like no one can tell the difference between a law on how you're supposed to live or a law where if you break a commandment and now you have to atone for your sin, your transgression. So in Christ's walk, you don't see him atoning for sin because he never committed one. And if we're gonna be like Christ, we have to do as he did. You ever see Christ do a sacrifice?
Not to the end.
No. Yeah, just himself.
Right.
Himself. That's like Paul said, that's your reasonable service. You sacrificing yourself to be obedient to the Lord. And be obedient to what? That's what we're going to get into today. But first, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 11. Let me put my glasses on. I'm tripping.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 11. And go, get thee to them of the captivity, unto the children of thy people.
Hold on. So, and this ain't never change. Our people are dispersed throughout the earth. But we're the children of the captivity. We're still in the lands of our captivity. We have not been restored to our homeland. Christ has not come back and gotten us out of the captivity and taught us and brought us into the bond of the covenant. That has not happened. Go ahead.
Unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Right, so it's our job, whether our people listen to us or not, it's our job to go out and tell them. So, let's jump right into it, man. Let's go to Exodus chapter 19. We're going to start at verse 4.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Right. So in verse 4, he said, you have seen what I did unto the Egyptians. Now, according to Revelation 11, we're in modern day Egypt. Sodom in Egypt. And the further we go in time, the more we see that the scriptures is true. This place, Sodom and Egypt. Even if you look at, what they call that, Roy, the wage gap. They're saying there's no more middle class. Either you poor on the bottom or
You on top.
right. Sodom and Egypt. People don't even realize that you're basically in slavery. You're living from day to day. Most of us living from day to day, and even those that ain't living from day to day, it can all be taken away from you. Mess with this man and his system. It can be taken away from you. All it takes is one accusation from somebody, and you could lose everything, and your name be considered trash. So this is modern Sodom and Egypt. So the Lord is saying, you have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bear you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. You don't think the Lord's going to do that again? Just as sure as he sent us into captivity, he going to bring us out. The scriptures say he going to bring again the captivity, meaning he going to turn it around and bring us home. So just like then, it has to be done again. Read 5 again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 5. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant,
That's what we're going over, because the laws is the covenant. Go ahead.
then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Right. Notice he said above all people. If you be obedient. Go ahead.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Just real quick, give me 1 Peter 2 and 7.
The book of 1 Peter.
Saying this, the only thing that's going to be missing right here is thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 7. Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner.
Right, that's talking about Christ, 100%. He's the chief cornerstone. Go ahead.
And a stone of stumbling, and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed.
Right, go ahead.
But ye are a chosen generation,
So those that are obedient, you are a chosen generation. Go ahead.
a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness
Sin.
into his marvelous light.
And to keeping his commandments in the faith of Christ, that light. The scriptures ain't saying nothing new. Like we read the last class we did, we was reading in Timothy. How you, the scriptures, the Holy Scriptures, which you read as a child. The Holy Scriptures is the law and the prophets. It's not the letters. We believe the letters 100%, but the Holy Scriptures he's referring to is the law and the prophets. All right, verse Exodus 19 and verse 7.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 7. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him.
See that? So, there's an order of things. Go ahead.
And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord hath spoken, we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord.
Right, so the people is the elders right here. This isn't the whole body. He's going to speak to the body in Exodus 20. So that's why I say there's an order. So he went to the leaders first. This is what's going to happen. They said, okay, they agree, right?
And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever.
So the Lord wants to speak in front of them so that the children of Israel can hear. They can hear and believe in Moses forever. Oh, read it again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever.
Damn.
And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord.
Right, you're good. Now, so we're going to Exodus 20. Exodus 20, you have, I think some people call it the Decalogue. Is that what the...
I feel like I've heard that.
I think that's what the Christians call it. I'm not sure. But you have the Lord giving the 10 Commandments. Matter of fact, let's go read. Start at 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying,
Oh, God spake all these words. God spake all these words. Go ahead.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Right, go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right, that's a commandment. No other gods before the Lord, right?
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
Right. So if you're breaking, I've said this many times, you breaking commandments, you hate the Lord. That's what he's telling you right here. You hate him. So verse 6.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Right. When you go to 1 John 5, where do you think he's getting this from? Talking about love. It's you doing what the Lord said to do. And as we read through these commandments, you will see that these commandments are showing you how to love your brother, how to love the Father. So, when you get to verse 8, it's saying, remember the Sabbath day. Then it starts giving you ordinances that's in the Sabbath day, like you do no labor. You can't have your servants working. And you're supposed to keep the Sabbath day holy. Then honor your mother and father. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet. Excuse me. All of these are ways that you show your brother love. You're not offending your brother. You're not taking something from him. You're not telling lies about him. This is love. This is love. This is how the Lord walks, and this is how he wants his people to walk. Pick back up at 18.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
Right. So when you get time, go back and read chapter 19, and the Lord is speaking more. There's a lot of stuff going on right here. Like, you can't even step towards a mountain, you'll get put to death. The Lord is serious. He's very serious. So this is important. Because of this, the Lord stopped speaking to us, and then we have to start dealing with Moses. Go ahead.
And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
Right, they're so afraid. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not.
Right, he has come to prove you. So they were right in being afraid, because the Lord wants them to fear him so that they abstain from sin. Go ahead.
And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven.
So now the Lord starts telling Moses what he should speak to the children of Israel. Go ahead.
Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee.
Right, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. Go ahead.
And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it.
Right. If you want to look at this as this is twofold. One is straight up, the other is a dark saying. Christ is that rock. We read that. We spoke on that. He is that rock. You can't alter Christ in any way, or you will pollute him. Go ahead, verse 26.
Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon.
Right. Now, chapter 21, we're going to skip all the way down to 12. And the reason is because we're not in our land and have our own people as servants. So we're not going to deal with that right now.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 12. He that smiteth a man, so that he die, shall be surely put to death.
So if you kill someone, you kill one of your brothers, you shall surely be put to death. So, like people say in the New Testament, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Right? Come on.
And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee.
Right. So if you, hard to explain this. If a man lie not in wait. So if you're not purposing to kill somebody, let's say you got an enemy. A good example would be Saul and David. Where Saul was trying to kill David, but David wasn't trying to kill him. And David showed him mercy. So the Lord is saying, if you're not laying in wait for somebody and you put them to death, he delivers them to you. Then he will appoint a city, which he did, cities of refuge for you to flee. And also goes into, if you kill someone by accident, you can flee into the city instead of somebody coming seeking to put you to death. Go ahead.
But if a man come presumptuously
on purpose, like they call it murder one, premeditated murder.
But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die.
Right. The Lord is saying, he can't hide. There's nowhere he can go. He got to die. Go ahead.
And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death.
Right. Man, I don't watch TV no more. I mean, I watch YouTube and I got like Amazon Prime. But I remember seeing, was it Dr. Phil? Little kids be putting their hands on their parents.
Oh, all them shows. Maury, all them having them bad kids come up there.
The Lord said put them to death. And now people might think, okay, that's harsh. But look at this world today. Anytime, as soon as you allow something, it's, you know what I'm saying? You give somebody a mile,
Foot,
foot, they'll take a mile.
That's around 30. Give them no liberty in their youth.
Hold on. Yeah, we gotta go there. Ecclesiasticus. Good point, Brother Nashawn. Start at verse 1, man.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end.
Right. You cause him often to feel the rod because you're correcting them and setting them on the right path. If you don't, it's going to be nothing but trouble. Go ahead.
He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
Go ahead.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself.
That is like himself. Not only look like him, but think like him, because he done taught him. Go ahead.
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
So that's if you teach him to be obedient and you correct them. Now here's the flip side. Verse 7.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels be troubled at every cry.
Right. So that's like somebody, well, actually, that would be a father having the qualities of a mother. He fall off the bike and, let me kiss it. Let me put some Bactine on your wounds. And the daddy be like, boy, get up. Like Eddie Murphy said, when the boy on fire, he like, just throw some dirt on him, roll him around. Get on up and get back at it. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And horse not broken becometh headstrong.
Yeah, same thing with a child, becometh headstrong.
And a child left to himself will be willful.
Yeah, he'll be self-willed.
Conquer the child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness.
Right, he'll bring thee to heaviness. Go ahead.
Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies.
Right, correct. Don't wink at him, correct him. Because one of the things, you can't touch your kids today, all this other stuff that they be saying, and then are you setting them up when he go out in public, when he go out in the real world, and how Esau going to deal with him. First and foremost, the police. So if you raise him up to be spoiled, he can be popping off. Ain't no telling what's going to happen. Correction is supposed to be the way of life. Go ahead.
Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart.
You know what this happens a lot? When families split up, or they never were a family, right? And you have a son. We're dealing with the son right now. You have a son, and the mother tries to correct him until he gets to a certain age. And then she going to pick up that phone and call daddy. Because he ain't listening no more. He too big. He done got stubborn. Last verse 13.
chastise thy son, and hold him to labor,
Right, put him to work.
lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee.
Right, become an offense unto thee. Back to Exodus 21.
Well, we were at 12.
Yeah.
13. Oh, we're down to.
Oh, yeah, you were at
16.
15. You was at 15. Read that again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 15. And he that smitteth his father or his mother shall be surely be put to death.
So you put your hands on your parents, you're supposed to be put to death. Just
And-
the blatant disrespect. You're supposed to look up to your elders, especially your mother and father. They lay together and have you. Go through great labor to bring you forth. Take care of you. You're completely helpless. Take care of you, bring you up. Some have had it better than others, but still they brought you in and you still alive. They kept you alive. And then for you now to disrespect them. Now it's one thing because you got a lot of folks, parents that's against the truth and go hard against the truth, but still you give them that respect. Go ahead.
And he that stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
Right now, our people did sell our people. I mean, we can't get around that. But this law is in place. It's also going to fall on the heads of the other nations, too, that sold us. They got to be recompensed, like the Lord said. But if you get caught stealing your own people, you're supposed to be put to death. Hold on, give me Deuteronomy 20. Might be 24. Because the Lord said again. Or he has Moses say it again. Chapter 24 and verse 7.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24 and verse 7. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of him, or sell of him, then that thief shall die, and thou shalt put evil away from among you.
So, like, who would this apply to today? Example. I remember before COVID, you remember the craze that was going on?
The white van.
Yes, the white van. Yeah, so they were snatching up folks, and what they doing? Like putting them on the black market, making them prostitute and stuff like that. That's you making money off of them. You selling them.
Stole them and sold them.
Right. Lord saying they supposed to be put to death. Put away evil from among you. You can't have evil among you. Like we had feast on unleavened bread. You're supposed to remove the leaven. If you're gonna be a holy nation, living in a holy kingdom, can you allow this stuff?
A little leaven with the whole lump.
Right, leaven the whole lump.
Or like the example of that one bad fruit next to good fruit.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Spoil.
spoil. It's gonna spoil them. Now read verse 1. So we're reading commandments. You got commandments. You do this, you do that. Then you don't do this, you don't do that. Watch what these are right here.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24 and verse 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Exodus.
Yeah, Exodus 21 and verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them.
See? So this chapter right here dealing with judgments. There's something else. Leviticus 26 real quick. Because I know people don't like judgments. I don't like them myself, but we got to do them. And those judgments right there are different from right now. Right now, we can't do that. People have mercy through Christ right now. 26 and verse 15.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 15. And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant.
Right. The Lord is he's going to punish you. And he's punishing us right now to this day. We can't hate the judgments. Back to Exodus 21.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 1.
No, you jump down to read 16 again, and we'll keep going.
Verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
All right, go ahead.
And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death.
Right, so that like curse right there would be like you despising your parents. How could I put it? Yeah, basically you despising them. You won't do what they say, or you talking trash to them. You shall surely be put to death. You gotta respect your parents. You don't have to wait till Mother's and Father's Day.
That's not what it says.
Right, honor 'em.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed.
Right, so if two brothers get the fighting, scrapping, fade, whatever you want to call it, right? And he die not, but keepeth his bed, meaning somehow he's hurt, so he's in the bed, right? Go ahead.
If he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit.
Right, so he won't be the person that hit him, beat him up. He won't be put to death, because if he had died, then that brother surely shall be punished. He should be put to death. But he doesn't die. Go ahead.
Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed.
So while he's inflicted or afflicted with this bodily pain, or he can't work, then the Lord said, you got to take care of that man. So nowadays they got insurance and stuff like that, but he's saying you got to take care of that man. How isn't this love? All of this stuff, literally is a definition of love. You did that to him, you got to take care of that man. Go ahead.
And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished.
Right, he shall surely be punished. So this show you this is not someone of Israel. Like you can't just willy-nilly kill somebody of the other nations. You shall surely be punished. It don't say you should be put to death like if you kill your brother, but it say you shall surely be punished. Come on.
Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money.
Right, you can't kill him.
If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her,
That would be the child, the fruit. Go ahead.
and yet no mischief follow, he shall surely be punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine.
Right, so you have to go before the judges. All this stuff, you should be going before the judges. Oh, that's even in, since I'm thinking about it, 1 Corinthians 6. There's a lot of stuff that we're reading. In some of these situations, if you do certain things, you should be put to death. But most of them, no, you're not being, quote unquote, condemned, being put to death.
And if you notice, with everything that we read, right?
Yeah.
So if you notice, with all the stuff that we're reading, this is Israel working it out amongst themselves, as opposed to like in today's time, you got to go to court, then you got to go sit in front of the judge and let them hear the matter and all that stuff, man.
Which they're going to be unrighteous.
Right. They're going to be biased.
Perfect segue into 1 Corinthians 6.
And most of the time, the judge ain't even your people.
Right. Start at verse 1.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 1. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
Mm-hmm.
That's another precept too for another topic. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Mm-hmm.
And the world shall be judged by you. Are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
The smallest matters. Go ahead.
Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
Right. Set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. We got the scriptures. They just have to hear the matter. Like there's a question brothers posed to me a couple of times, like, who's judging you? If you judging the folks, who's judging you? So somebody got to judge you. Paul's saying, let them that are least esteemed, let them do it. I mean, that may be the reason why towards before the school got shut down and everything, that everybody, Ozias was letting everybody be in on the calls, and he wanted their input and what they thought, man. Damn. All right, where we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah, verse 5. Keep going.
I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren.
Right. We got the laws and the judgments. How is it we can't judge matters amongst ourselves? Go ahead.
But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers.
Yeah, before the unbelievers. We should handle things between ourselves. Like something, okay, for example, because not too long ago, somebody broke in my car and stole some stuff. That's somebody I would turn over to Satan. Now, if it was one of y'all, you know, we'll judge the matter amongst ourselves. Somebody else, like, and even if it's one of our people, I may have mercy. But last thing I want to do is get Satan involved. You know how Satan roll. He get you on them papers, boy. You locked. Mm-hmm. All right. Read verse 7.
Now
you can call this the love of Christ right here.
Now therefore there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another. Mm-hmm. Why do ye not rather take wrong? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
Right. Instead of pursuing the matter, pushing the matter, because you can wink at ignorance or wink at a situation and just be like, you know what, bro, don't even worry about it. And I've seen that plenty of times, and it's true. You see it in Christianity, though. Mm-hmm. All right, back to Exodus 21.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 23. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life.
Right, life for life. Go ahead.
Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake.
See, let him go free, right? Let him go free. I guess, what would it be today? I guess disability is how Esau tried to do it.
Right.
But see, everything that they get, it come out of our laws. They just don't be enforcing it. Go ahead.
If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned.
So look, this right here, most of us are not going around with oxes, sheep, and goats, right? Mm-hmm. But we'll have dogs and cats. So let's say this is, instead of an ox, it's a cane corso. Or a Rottweiler or a pit bull, right?
Not my pit bull.
Right. Try to force you to play. So if an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die. Go ahead.
If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they should die, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit.
Right. So the ox has to be put to death, but the owner will be okay, right? Now, keep going. Extenuating circumstances.
But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past,
So pushing with his horn, meaning like he goring folks.
and it hath been testified to his owner, and he have not kept him in.
So if he's done this stuff in the past and people have told his owner, so his owner knows about it. He knows about it. Go ahead.
But that he hath killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death.
Right. So people, it was a few years back. Some pit bulls. No, they weren't even pit bulls. It might have been like one pit bull and two mutts, and they killed some kid. And the dude, the owner, he got locked up. Go ahead.
If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him.
Right, like restitution. It's like, okay, so because of this happened, now we're going to give you this $50,000 fine or whatever they decide the fine is going to be. Go ahead.
Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him.
So evidently the judgment has to be determined whether to put him to death or he has to pay money. You know, I would imagine a lot of money because somebody's life is worth a lot of money. But people be talking about the commandments, but nobody ever really goes over them. There's nothing wrong with this. How is something like this a burden? If you steal something from somebody, you got to give it back to them. How is that a burden?
Or why would you get rid of it? What justice do you have now?
Right.
Well, how do you determine that? What are you gauging it off of?
You so right, bro. Hold on one second. Genesis 18 and verse 19. There's no judgment or justice if you take these laws away, if you say that they're done away with. What are you really doing? Yeah, read that.
I'm about to say something. Genesis 18 and 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
Did you catch that? He going to do the way of the Lord and execute justice and judgment. The same thing. It ain't no different from Christ. Right? Isaiah 9 and 7. Watch. Same thing.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 9, in verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom to order it, and to establish it, with judgment
Justice?
and with justice, from
Judgment.
henceforth even forever.
Judgment and justice. Same thing.
The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
Right. Same thing. Abraham had law, statutes, and commandments. You think how is he gonna have justice and judgment without it? Back to Exodus 20.
Or even, when situations come up, brothers and sisters we got to pull Matthew 18. You offended me. Well, what's the offense? What's the offense? Like, unless you go back to what was established from the beginning.
That's what I said in 1 Corinthians 6 just now. It said, brother, go to law against brother. If they're done away with, what you going to go to? How are you offended? What's the trespass?
Because then that's going to change from person to person. If
Right.
If you leave it up to, I'm offended off of this. Well, based on what? What is how I feel? And then that is going to lead down that path of confusion. No stability.
Right.
Back to Exodus.
Yeah, back to Exodus.
The book
We
of
read
Exodus,
31, so we're at 32.
chapter 21 and verse 32. If the ox shall push a manservant or maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned.
So the ox, I don't, the law say what it say. I'm just thinking in my mind, you got an ox and he just chasing folks down and running them over. the Lord's like, okay, this spirit got to be dealt with. He got to go. Pay for him, get a man money to compensate him, and put this sucker here to death. He got to go. Go ahead. That's all it's saying. Like he one of them rogue spirits. He wants to go at folks.
He's worried about being headstrong.
Yep, and trample over folks. The Lord said, no, he got to go too. Go ahead.
And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein.
So you have an example, like let's say the city working on the street, right? And they made a big hole, but they don't put no signs or nothing around it, no barricade around it. And here you come down the street driving your ox. And y'all fall in the hole. The city has to compensate you. That's happened before.
It sounds like Southside.
And,
It sounds like Southside.
and it's so wicked though, because like I said, in Norfolk years ago, they used to have really bad potholes behind Norfolk State on the interstate. And one of my cousins was trying to go to the city because they had hit a pothole and got a flat tire. Same thing happened to me, but I didn't think to go to the city. She went to the city, and they had a list of complaints, and they were not restoring the people any kind of compensation for the roads they were driving on, getting flat tires and bent rims and all that type of thing. And they weren't doing it. And that just shows you how they outside of God's laws and we don't get any justice.
Damn, man, that's crazy. I saw something about 6 months ago. I was coming home and going from 64 and not connecting with 95, but going over to the expressway. And I'm glad I came through when I did. I was in the middle lane and I kept looking and I kept seeing all these cars. They were just scattered on the right-hand side, all of them with flat tires. But they had somebody come out there. The police was out there and they was talking to the folks. They had a conversation. I don't know what it was in the road or something that happened to the road, but they have to compensate them folks, man. So we're reading through this and seeing how Esau emulates our laws. But then they be talking about democracy and all this stuff. But then again, the system is called the judicial system. Go ahead.
Verse 34. The owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and his dead beast shall be his. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide.
Right, so if you got two cane corsos, or let's just say two chihuahuas get to fighting, right? Let me make it funny for a little bit. Two chihuahuas get to fighting, and one tear the other one up, that he die. So the Lord is saying, it's hard to even imagine that. I'm sorry for putting that in y'all mind. And if one man's ox hurt another's that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money. So I don't know what you would get, how much money you get for a chihuahua, but you would have to divide it.
That's a champion chihuahua, though. He might be worth something.
But see how, so the laws, there's nothing wrong with this. This is righteous. Like, okay.
The Lord talk about having a just balance.
Right. So the one that's dead, so the live one, sell him, and then you split the money. What can you say?
If you take away the law, all you have is hatred left. That's all you have is hatred.
In situations, and people can't. So Tyshawn was saying, if you take away the law, all you have is hatred. Right. It'll be one situation after another, and they'll just keep growing and growing and growing until all kinds of violence breaks out. Just like today, and people cannot figure out how to solve the problem. You go back to this right here. You start with the children. All praises to the Most High. We have a lot of children that are being born, and their parents are keeping commandments and teaching them to keep commandments. then you can avoid all situations. Not saying you won't have none, but it's a great way to avoid them. And if you have one, you know how to work it out, you go to this. Go ahead. It was verse 36.
Or if it be known that the ox have used to push in time past, and his owner have not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own.
He shall pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. That means he got to take his live ox and give it to the man, and he take the dead ox. Chapter 22 and verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
See that? So what does this do? So if you steal 1 ox and you have to restore 5 of them if you get caught, what does that make you do?
I want to steal.
You damn right you're gonna think twice. You be like, nah. And if you in a situation where you gotta steal one and you get caught, man, you talk about being in a hole.
Right.
You really in the hole.
About to be working for that man for 7 years.
Tashawn. Yeah. Tashawn gonna say something.
This also helps with the other person.
Back it up a little bit.
My bad. This also helps with the other person because that can really, killing that ox or whatever the case may be, that can really inconvenience the other person. And that can cause him to go a time without money. So you're not only, of course, giving him his ox back, but you're also paying him for the possible time that he can lose without his ox.
Yeah, so if you imagine you only have one, because some people have many. But if you got one and that's how you make your money, you in trouble. So if you know what I'm saying, if the other person isn't applying the laws, then you just out back. That's not right. You can't live like that.
Thou shalt not steal.
Right. Thou shalt not. So you have like basic 10 commandments. Then you have all these other laws that fall up underneath it. And we're going through chapter 23. But even as you go into Leviticus and Deuteronomy, you see the laws even being more expounded upon. It's nothing to hate. And keeping the commandments is not a burden. It's love. Loving the Father, loving your brother. Verse 2.
If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him.
Right. So this is talking about at night. You'll find out in the next verse. It's dark. Somebody's stealing whatever it is. They could be stealing your chickens. And you can't see who it is, and you go out there and you smite him, and he die. Right? That's what this is saying. There shall be no blood shed for him.
You know what they call that?
Yeah.
Was it stand your ground?
Castle laws.
Yeah, when you somebody break into your home, and you feel like your life is threatened, they don't punish you for that.
No blood shed for him. Go ahead.
If the sun be risen,
but Esau changed that.
where you can't, if you threaten your life.
There's so many stipulations.
Right. Like, it used to be this. You break in somebody's house doing something and they shoot you, and ain't nobody to think twice. But now, like, the dude you got to tell him I'm gonna just all kinds of weird stuff now.
You have to prove that your life was in danger, and then if you run away, if you see him running away, you can't shoot at him, nothing like that, because then you can get charged. With murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Verse 3. If the sun be risen upon him.
So if the sun is risen, now you can see him. Right? Go ahead.
There shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution.
So if you see him, sun come up on him, you see him out there, like, okay, I know who this is. Yo, bro, you got to pay me, what is it?
Full restitution.
No. you got to give me 5 oxen for the ox you stole, or you got to give me 4 sheep for the sheep that you stole. Now you're going to be working for me, cuz. Right? The sun came up. Everybody, well, I see him. I know who he is now. Ain't no way you can't run from this now. Go ahead.
If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft.
So now you got to work for that person. Sold for his theft. Go ahead.
If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double.
Yep, he shall restore double. Whatever he stole, he got to restore double.
That'll make you not want to steal again.
Yeah, that's the whole, it's a deterrent. Deterrent. Oh, you want to steal? The God up in the sky, he said, now you got to give back this many of what you don't have.
Right.
Go ahead.
But you read verse 3, and then he shall be sold for his theft if you have nothing to give back to him.
Right.
Then now you're going to be sold for that theft.
That'll make you not, because, look, if somebody Deuteronomy, I think it's 13. I know sometimes brothers have, a brother might not want to admit that he needs help. You know, but a thief, sometimes a thief is stealing because he got a need, and sometimes you just got those that they just like that. They like that 5-finger discount for whatever reason. Verse 7, Deuteronomy 15:7.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15 and verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren, within any of thy gates in thy land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother.
Right. So,
Say they were reading Acts. Say they were reading Acts.
well, you talking about Acts 4?
Where they don't have need for you.
Oh yeah. That's everybody put up together. Those who had, especially those who had more. But I know that a lot of times you don't, because your people go see people on Facebook and they'll be like, I'm about to get evicted, or I lost my car, or whatever it is, and they'll wait till the last moment and be too daggone late. And the situation is hard. So we need, like, we supposed to apply this law and help our brothers, but sometimes you have to let folks know, because they don't know. Okay, where we at? 22 and 5.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution.
That's weird right there. Like, I don't know why somebody would, like, maybe they could do it out of jealousy. Shoot, he got more crops growing in his vineyard than me. Going over there and graze. Like, why not ask the brother?
And if you in need, like we just read in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, right.
We're supposed to open our hand up and help.
So if he do that, then he got to make restitution. Goodness. Go ahead.
If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution.
So if you make a fire, keep that dig a hole. Make your fire in that hole. You know what I'm saying?
If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double.
Right. Oh, that's the common thing, man. If the thief be found, let him pay double. Go ahead.
If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges, to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any matter of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his,
Mm-hmm.
the cause of both parties shall come before the judges,
Mm.
and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor.
So, and so when it said condemn right here, does that mean, you're going to get put to death? No, it's just saying that
Guilty.
the guilty party. The guilty party. So you supposed to go before the judges. And you know what? This, like, going through this makes something painfully obvious. Matthew 18:15. Let's go there.
Yeah.
It make it painfully obvious. So just by Christ giving you the order on how to do it, bro, this is how we supposed to live. This is how we supposed to walk. It ain't going nowhere.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Mm-hmm.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
Bro, did you let your ox go in my cornfield and eat? No, bro, that won't me.
But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
Right.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
So by now he before the judges.
But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican.
Right. So you don't deal with him. You treat him like a heathen, someone of another nation, or a publican, because this person will not repent. And it's something I've been talking about lately. So read that next verse. So if they will not repent or admit guilt, then what do?
Separate.
Right?
Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
So if your judgment is this person has to be removed from the congregation, then that's bound on earth and is bound in heaven. Ain't no escaping it. Been looking at this lately. This right here. That's what this is talking about. He's talking about if somebody will not hear you. Someone has committed a trespass and they will not repent. Back to Exodus.
Forgiveness is in the law too.
Where we at? 10, verse 10.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 10. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it.
Hold on. So, let's say, what's her name from Friday? The one that was getting high. Yeah, Felicia. Felicia want to borrow your VCR. And while she got your VCR, it break down. That's what it's going into. Or your car. Go ahead.
Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he have not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good.
Right. So the person is saying,
Truly an accident.
yeah.
Their fault.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn.
Right. If it be torn into pieces. Excuse me.
And if a man,
You bring it, you physically bring it and you show it. And because people ain't going to trust you no way. Like, your VCR just stopped working. Oh, really? Let me see it. I threw it away. Some folks going to be like, yo,
right?
what's up, man? What you doing? You doing something evil. You lying. So you bring it, right? Go ahead.
And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof, being not with it, he shall surely make it good.
Right. So if you borrow something from somebody and it breaks down while you got it, the law is saying you got to fix it, right? Go ahead.
But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire.
Right. So, like, let's say you, Roy, you came over, you bought your computer to do something for me, and then it breaks down while you're using it. then it's not my responsibility, it's yours. Okay, let's keep going.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed,
Uh-oh.
and lie with her,
This is a big one right here in Israel.
he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
So if you lay with a woman that's not betrothed, you have to make her your wife, right? But it's a stipulation too. Go ahead.
If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
So if the father can utterly refuse, then what does that tell you about the daughter?
Moving out of order.
What did you say?
I said she was moving out of order.
She moving out of order. So she's basically, she belonged to her father. And she go from her father to her husband. So like he has, like when you go to Numbers, like if a woman makes an oath, her father or her husband can cancel that oath out because they got power over them.
Right.
So, and not to say the father should be ruling. You know how they say today, oh, that's misogynistic and all this crazy stuff. No, he's responsible. He's that lamb of the house, responsible, over his whole household.
And just think about like our families are so destroyed now that it looks voodoo to say something like that.
Right.
But imagine like the structure and the order that would be, at least the odds in the successful marriages would be at a much higher rate, because now it's not just a young woman that's in her feelings or emotional. You also have a father that's proven this young man
Right.
to continue his lineage or to continue his children's moving forward. That's a major factor. It's a major factor, and also the husbands is raising sons to know to go to the father to make sure everything's in order and in the right manner.
And then the women are in order and they understand it also.
Right.
Man,
And
Go ahead.
My bad.
Go ahead.
Because then it just shows you, if you got a daughter that's obedient to her husband, her father, that's the kind of wife you would want, right? Because now she's going to understand the order that's going to be in the household when she moves in with you. But if she was not listening to her father and went snuck with you and then got secretly married, what kind of woman? That would show.
That showed you they were sneaking around.
Right.
Now, I'm glad you said that. Tobit chapter 2. Who wouldn't want a woman that's in order like that, right? This is a great example. Tobit chapter 2 and gotta find it. Just bear with me. It's not chapter 2.
Is it 4?
I think it's 3. When she was crying, or she sent up a prayer. Yep, here it is. It's chapter 3.
Verse 8? Somewhere in there.
10.
10.
Start at 10.
The book of Tobit, chapter 3 and verse 10. When she heard
This is Sarah. This is Raguel's daughter, Sarah. Go ahead.
When she heard these things, she was very sorrowful, so that she thought to have strangled herself. And she said, I am the only daughter of my father, and if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him, and I shall bring his old age with sorrow unto the grave.
So she was hurt to the point she wanted to take her life. But she's thinking about her father and honoring her father, not bringing a bad name upon her father. Go ahead.
Then she prayed toward the window and said, Blessed art thou, O Lord my God, and thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever. And now, O Lord, I set mine eyes and my face toward thee, and say, take me out of the earth, that I may hear no more the reproach.
Go ahead, keep going.
Thou knowest, Lord, that I am pure from all sin with man,
Damn.
and that I never polluted my name, nor the name of my father in the land of my captivity.
Nor the name, my name, nor the name of my father. Not bringing shame upon her father's house. Keep going.
I am the only daughter of my father, neither hath he any child to be his heir, neither any near kinsman nor any son of his alive, to whom I may keep myself for a wife. My 7 husbands are already dead, and why should I live? But if it please not thee that I should die, command some regard to be had of me, and pity taken of me, that I hear no more reproach.
Damn. Excellent. It's an excellent spirit to be in outside of, well, even like the pain she's feeling is because of the reproach.
But she's not committing suicide, though.
Right.
That's a different.
Right.
She's asking the Lord to put in the Lord's hands.
And the Lord answered her prayers. We know the Lord heareth not sinners. All right, you can drop this. Go back to Exodus. Exodus 22.
18 now.
Okay.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
But all these, you got all this sage burning. Oh, man, you got all kinds of stuff going on.
And they
Somebody said you shall not suffer Erykah Badu to live.
and they deceived, because I see some of these people talk sometimes, and they really deceive because they're like, well, what makes it witchcraft? I mean, you summoning any other thing outside the Most High God using God's creations to do it? You ain't witchcraft. Putting water under your bed at night, got copper rocks and stones around your neck for energy, and it's a whole lot of stuff that they give power to, other than the Creator.
They be trying to purge out evil spirits the whole time. They the evil spirits.
I saw old boy from Snowfall in that article say that he had to summon demons for that.
Oh yeah, to play that. See, it's and that's the thing they don't see about it. Like I've seen testimonies where people be like, "Man, I was going into it. I thought I was getting some kind of consciousness, but then it leads you to this really dark world where they sometimes you rarely can come back from that because you done went so far deep into these other lowercase gods and spirits that are going on out here. People are saying I'm spiritual, but there's so many evil spirits too.
They said Rihanna I think it was Rihanna or either Beyonce, when she sung a song, like when she created a song, she had a whole different identity or stuff like that. Like,
Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego. Yeah, she said it in plenty of interviews. I gotta become Sasha Fierce, and yeah. Verse 19. Whoso lieth with the beast shall surely be put to death.
So let me ask a question. How is this law right here against us? Somebody that's lying with beasts, it would be against them, right?
Right.
Because they'd be getting put to death. Go ahead.
He that sacrifices unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed.
He shall be put to death. You sacrificing other gods. That's why when you get to the New Testament, it's like, don't vex your brother. His conscience might be weak. You thinking that you sacrificing to an idol by eating something bought in the shambles at the market or whatever. Go ahead.
Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Right. We're strangers now, so we should know, we make it to the kingdom, that we're not supposed to oppress a stranger. We understand what that's like. Now, if somebody break commandments, they're gonna be held accountable. Like it said in Revelation 19, in righteousness shall he judge and make war.
there's a time for hatred, murder, all that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a time for all that, but not right now.
And another thing, when you vex a stranger, then you have constant uprisings like you see around the earth today, especially here in America.
When the wicked rule, the people mourn.
More. Microphone check.
Even when you look at like how King David and Solomon, they ran the kingdom when we was in rulership. They weren't vexing no strangers like that.
And you know you had, because David had made the other nations servants. I'm glad you said that. 1 Kings 10. Make the scriptures come to life. First Kings 10 and verse 7 and 8.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 10, and verse 7. Howbeit, I believed not the words until I came, and my eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard.
Right, so this is the queen of Sheba conversing with King Solomon.
Happy are the men, happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom.
Right, like the scriptures say, when the righteous rule, the people will rejoice. Everything is in order. It won't matter if you're at the top of the totem pole or the bottom. Everybody gonna be happy. Everybody will have what they need. Even with the law of the strangers, you make sure that the strangers have what they need. Instead of here, you look at this place, there ain't a damn city you can go to and don't see people living under the bridge. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Verse 9. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighteth in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever. Therefore made he thee king to do judgment and justice.
Judgment and justice. Oh, my goodness. Back to Exodus 22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 22. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry.
The Lord said he surely gonna hear their cry. The fatherless and the widow.
And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword.
Say that again. Say that again.
And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword. And your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless.
Right. Right. Well, you got something to say?
No. What are the qualifications for a widow?
She got to be a woman.
I remember reading somewhere it was just like you know if your husband passed but like your kids or something like that was just beast kids, then you know you're not considered. I don't know.
Yeah, sound like some folly.
No, I think it was concerning the age. Yeah, Paul was saying that it's something about a certain age. You're supposed to take care of the widows, but he was saying he was talking about an age. We'll look that up later.
Hearing that in a class somewhere where you can't call yourself a widow if you never mind,
Waxing wonton against Christ. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury.
So you can't charge him interest.
Or what they call it, I'm gonna tax you.
Vigorish. I think the Italians call it vigorish or vigorish, something like that. Go ahead.
If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him, by that the sun goeth down.
Nashawn, look up raiment for me. See what that definition is. I'm pretty sure it's clothes. So, okay. You in
Oxford Dictionary.
It's something. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I'm on
Has
it.
a
Blue
garment, outer garment, wrapper, mantle. Clothes.
Yeah, so if somebody pledged their clothes to you. Here we go. Oh. So in other words, what they call it when you go to get a loan? Collateral.
Oh, okay.
Right, collateral.
Gotcha.
So if somebody give you their clothes as collateral, that's what it's talking about. Yeah, if thou at all
It's like a pawn
take
shop.
thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. Go ahead, verse 27.
For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me that I will hear. For I am gracious.
Right, the Lord is gracious. He gonna hear. Like, hey, because when you look at it, what is he really doing? Like the last couple of joints we read about, like afflicting the widow and the fatherless child, and your neighbor's raiment, and him saying, "I'm gracious." Psalms 82, I think 2. So, okay, you ain't gonna do it, so I gotta do it. Verse 3.
The book of Psalm, chapter 82 and verse 3. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
Right, they ain't got no father. They don't have a man of the house. You supposed to take care of that. And if you don't, then the Lord got to step in. You don't want the Lord. That's what people really don't get. You don't want the Lord to step in, because he gonna do the judgment. He gonna do the condemnation judgment. And if he don't do that, he gonna flick the hell out you. All right, where we at? Exodus 22 and
28.
28.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 28.
Man, we was just at Psalms 82.
Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people.
Right, this is one of the scriptures that explains itself within itself, the rulers. And all Israel is supposed to be a nation of priests. We're supposed to be the gods of the earth, executing judgment and justice for the Lord. Right. All right, go ahead.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy son shalt thou give unto me.
Go ahead.
Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam, and on the 8th day thou shalt give it to me.
Right, just like the circumcision. On the 8th day you give it to him. But it's see how righteous that is? They get to spend that time together, but then they get snatched. Even when it comes to birds, like, I don't think it's right here what we're going over today. Like, but you can't kill like the offspring and its mother within a certain period of time. Even with birds, if you run across a bird nest, Moab will just eat it. Moab will eat everything except the nest.
But even with the laws of the land, they have rules on hunting. When you doe season, when you can kill a deer, when you can kill a turkey, even an abominable seafood they be doing, they be like, oh, if this mother has her seeds on her, you can't take her, and so on and so on. You got to clip her because she's producing. So even amongst their laws of the land, they base it off of our laws.
Like if you bass fishing or something, so you have, they'll come over to the edges. I never eat catfish. I catch them. Now, I know they have laws for, like, when you're bass fishing, they'll come over to the edges and lay their eggs, and and if you agitate them in any way, they'll bite whatever you throw over there. So it's a law. You can't catch them. It's like you got to let them have the babies or whatever. So it's like a certain time period. You can't catch them. And they know what they're doing. But like everything comes from the Lord. That wisdom comes from the Lord.
Verse 31. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field.
Right, because that's they tear things. Something torn is something that, animal done killed. Fox and got in the hen house and all that kind of stuff.
Ye
Lord
shall
saying,
cast it to the dogs.
right, Lord saying, like, if that happened, they kill it, they don't get to drag it away and eat it. You give it to the dog, you can't eat it yourself. All right, chapter 23.
That's sanitary, bro. Like, you don't know what that animal that killed it has.
That's so the Lord. That's other laws too. When you get into like what Ozias and Raphael called it the CDC. Like when you when somebody, it really came to light with COVID, how if somebody's sick, the person taking care of them, all the stuff they have to do when they go in there, deal with that person, and then when they come out, they gotta wash and all this stuff. How is that a burden? How is that against you?
And you separate yourself from that unclean thing.
Yes.
You gotta purify yourself going
Yes.
in and out.
Yes. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 1.
Imagine if they got rid of all those sanitary ordinances dealing with diseases. Chapter 23, verse 1. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
So that, damn, man, I gotta do it. History of Susanna. Ooh, turn right to it.
That's one of the ones I'm going to pull right over. Watch.
Yeah, unrighteous witness. Give me verse. Start at. Well, don't want to read the whole thing.
42, 43 is what I was looking at.
Yeah, hit those.
The history of Susanna, verse 42.
I don't know if y'all know this story. She was a righteous sister with a righteous husband, righteous parents, and these men,
Some wicked Israelites.
yeah, they wanted to lay with her.
Some wicked judges.
Yes, wicked judges. They wanted to lay with her so they concocted a story to make her lay with them. And she was like, nope, I'm in a great strait, but I'd rather be faithful to the Lord than to get away and do what y'all wicked Negroes want me to do. Go ahead.
Verse 42. Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting God, that knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be, thou knowest that they have borne false witness against me. And behold, I must die, whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me.
Right. Damn. Now.
And the Lord heard her voice.
Oh, but he heareth not sinners. Now, jump down to verse 61.
Verse 61. And they arose against the two elders, for Daniel had convicted them of false witness by their own mouth. And according to the law of Moses, they did unto them in such sort as they maliciously intended to do to their neighbor. And they put them to death. Thus the innocent blood was saved the same day.
Right. So if you're convicted of adultery, you're supposed to be put to death. So the men that accuse her of that, the punishment that for adultery now falls on their heads, so they had to be put to death.
I got numbers.
And the Lord,
I got numbers 35 and 29 for some reason right beside it.
and the thing
That's-
about it, the Lord had them snitch on themselves. Like the Lord's flipped it right back around. He said on
Right.
their own mouth.
So look, you know how they interrogate you?
Separate you. They separate.
So yeah, read that. Pick back up at 57.
Verse 57. Thus have ye dealt with the daughters of Israel, and they for fear companied with you. But the daughter of Judah would not abide your wickedness. Now therefore tell me, under what tree didst thou take them companying together? Who answered, under a home tree.
So they will separate you. If more than one person did a crime, right? They will separate you, and then they will ask each one individually the question. So that's what's done right here. Go ahead.
Then said Daniel unto him, well, thou hast also lied against thine own head. For the angel of God waiteth with the sword to cut thee into two, that he may destroy you. With that, the assembly...
Right. So they separated them, and they evidently told two different stories, so they knew they was guilty.
Verse 54. Now then, if thou hast seen her, tell me under what tree sawest thou them company together? Who answered, under a mastic tree.
Right, so the other one said a home tree.
Yep.
So so y'all lying. All right, back to Exodus 23.
Book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
Acts 5.
Book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 35.
Not following the multitude to do evil. Go ahead.
And said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Thaddeus, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught.
Following the multitude to do evil. Keep going.
After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed.
Right. But ain't it, you see, the laws protect you. Even the laws protect you from offending somebody, and then that person's spirit getting riled up and want to do something to you. These laws bring forth peace. Verse 3.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
No, brother. That law is against us. That's a burden right there.
And it all go back to loving your neighbor as you love yourself. Because
It
you would want
is.
these same exact things done for you.
Yeah.
If you were on the offended side, you'd want the restitution, or you'd want your ox returned, or you
Yes.
love thy neighbor.
This is love. I remember when I first saw this, like 8 years ago, I said, you know what? That will make you make up with your brother. It will. You'll be like, damn.
Or
I
you
know I
gon-
can't stand him, but he did that for me.
Or you're going to get outcast. Or you're going to get separated.
Right.
It just shows you the harmony and the balance that would be amongst the people if people obey these things.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Verse 5.
If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under the burden. Let me start from the top. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
So like rest right there means turn aside, or cause a false judgment. That's what that's going into. Go ahead.
Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not. For I will not justify the wicked.
Don't put to death the innocent and the right. Let's go back to history of Susanna too. She was innocent. That's what Daniel said. This innocent woman. Damn. The Lord said he will not justify the wicked. Go ahead.
And thou shalt take no gift,
Uh-oh.
for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous.
Now, in Esau kingdom, that happens all the time.
Let's make a deal.
Yep, behind the scenes, let's make a deal. Go ahead.
Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
All right, now we're going to jump to 23.
Book
So
of
he's saying it again, and then he said many times, don't oppress a stranger.
Exodus chapter 23 and verse 23. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images.
All right, just like the first commandment, have no other gods. Go ahead.
And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee.
Take away sickness. Aren't we number one in every damn category of everything? Bruh. 1 Corinthians? Wait a minute. Oh, that's 2 Corinthians. I thought it was 1 Corinthians 11. I was like, what? 1 Corinthians 11 and... Verse 30. Well, actually, you hit 29 and 30.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 29. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body.
Come on.
For this cause, many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep.
Right. That's why we have so many freaking ailments, man. And everything go back to, if we keep the commandments, we'll prosper in everything. But if we don't, everything is just going to be bad. And even our health, like in Deuteronomy 28, the plagues of Egypt and all that.
Didn't Solomon say, like, the word is for the healing?
Oh, I don't know what that said, but yeah.
I think it's in one of the Solomon books. I don't know if it's wisdom or song. I forget.
It's probably wisdom.
The word is for the healing.
All right, 23. Yeah, you read the 25. So verse 32, and pick back up at 32.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me.
Damn.
For if thou serve their gods, it would surely be a snare unto you.
And we keep...
Speaking of Solomon.
right. And we keep doing that.
Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon 16:12.
You want to go to it?
Just about the word.
Because we're almost done. Might as well go to it. We're almost done. That's why the title is The Law of the Lord is Perfect. What can you find wrong with this? Now, if you got to go bring an ox and make a sacrifice, and you got to, let's say you 50 miles from Jerusalem and you got to walk them, that's a damn burden, man. We got to go way out the way because of something you did. Yeah, so the commandments are not against us. The sacrifice, that stuff it was. And death. Death without repentance, you know what I'm saying? That's against you. Not loving your neighbor as yourself. Go ahead.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16 and verse 11. For they were pricked that they should remember thy words, and were quickly saved, that not falling into deep forgetfulness, they might be continually mindful of thy goodness. For it was neither herb nor malefying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. For thou hast power of life and death.
Damn.
Thou leadest to the gates of hell and bringest up again.
You're like Deuteronomy 32:39. I am he. I wound and I heal. If the Lord don't want you to heal, a good example would be Heliodorus when he caught the beat downs in Maccabees. And he had to pray. The priest had to pray for the Lord to bring him back, not to put him to death. Tashawn want to say something? Turn the mic on.
Well, since it's close to the end, the perfect precept to end this class would be Psalms 38:4.
We can go there. We ain't done yet, though.
I know we're not done, but since we close to the end, the perfect precept, since we close to the end, that would be,
Well, I got one for the end. I got one in mind.
Go to it now.
Yeah.
The book of Psalms, chapter 38 and verse 4. For mine iniquities are gone over mine head. As an heavy burden, they are too heavy for me.
Damn. So you lay that burden on Christ. That's the burden you lay on Christ. And it's for your past sins, not continual sin, past sins. Exodus 24 and verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 1. And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off.
Right.
And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which the Lord hath said we do.
Right. All the words the Lord said we will do. That includes all the stuff we just read. All these laws, statutes underneath them. Yeah, and the judgments we said we will do. Go ahead.
And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel.
Go.
And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings, and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood, and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant.
The book of the covenant. Go ahead.
And read in the audience of the people. And they said, All that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient.
And this don't include the mixed multitude that came out of Egypt. It's the children of Israel. Go ahead.
And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant.
The covenant, blood of the covenant.
Which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words.
Right.
Keep going.
No, you good. Oh, they're playing in the playground behind us. But we agreed to keep these commandments. This is how you walk with the Lord. Literally. Walk in his commandments. This is love. This is Christ. The law of the Lord. Two more verses and we're done. Psalms 19 and 7. Two places. Psalms 19, 7 and 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Come on.
The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes.
Enlightening the eyes.
Can I keep going?
Yeah, keep
Verse,
going. Go ahead.
verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer.
Damn, my strength and my redeemer. Last verse. Well, 2 verses. Leviticus 19, 17, and 18.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Right. Thou shalt not hate thy brother.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
What does that mean? So if you read in the New Testament, if you hate if you hate your brother, you're a murderer. And you have to think about that. What do you mean if I hate my brother, am I a murderer? I didn't physically stab him or shoot him. What is it that's missing? The second part of the verse. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin. You have to correct him and not allow him to sin. If you don't correct your people and tell them what they're doing wrong, you hate them. You're a damn murderer. If you don't tell them that what they're doing is going to cause the Lord to destroy them forever, you hate them at the highest level. Prove me wrong. And next verse. Yeah, next verse. Next verse.
Amen. Ended on that. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Right. You cannot want to get any get back or hold a grudge inside you. You can't do that. Go ahead.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Hey, that's the love of Christ. Christ is telling you, do it the same way I did unto the death. Unto the death. That's going to do it for today's class. The law of the Lord is perfect. Prove me wrong.
Clubhouse room.
Right. Put the Cash App join up there. Anybody, if you want to help the congregation, send in your alms. We will appreciate it. Just for put it there for a few seconds.
So that means the laws ain't done away with.
No, they're not done away with. It's not possible.
And they're not grievous.
And they're not grievous. Okay. All right, I'm Brother Jacob.
I'm Brother Roy.
With that, y'all, we say shalom. Bro, cue the music.
Shalom, Barakatah.
I can never say that right.
2 Peter chapter 1, verse 10. Wherefore thee rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things,